Did you pay them off again?
They love you.
Well, how unexpected. That's very nice of you. Thanks for coming. We were off, what, for a week?
Yep.
I could not believe it. I want to thank Los Angeles. Went to New York, came back yesterday. I was touched. Thousands of people holding banners saying, "Welcome, Your Holiness John." A lot of excitement in this town today, isn't there? Anyway, we're going to get this show done with real quick and get out of here because, remember, prime time starts tonight at 7:30. Have you seen the network promotions for that? They're saying that prime time is starting a half hour early this year. Isn't that good news? Oh, yeah. That's like saying the flu season starts a month earlier. Well, this is my kind of crowd tonight. Anyway, the helicopter's been flying over Los Angeles. We are filled with distinguished visitors. Pope John Paul II is here. Nancy Reagan came here this afternoon to visit the school with the Pope. And folks, you're here in town. Boy, do I know how to get cheap applause? I guess the Pope leaves tonight. He is saying Mass tonight at Dodger Stadium. And Tommy Lasorda, the manager of the Dodgers, saw the Pope's entourage and says, "Maybe we can beat these Cardinals." The Dodgers drew 16,000 people the other night. The Pope has 100,000 people there tonight. The Pope has a better record than the Dodgers. So. He seems like a marvelous man. Does he have a presence? I have not met him, but you sense it. And you see him driving around in that bulletproof Pope-mobile, they call it. He's the only one I know that's equipped for the freeways. You know what that is? That's a Mercedes Jeep. That's true. Did you know that? It's a Mercedes Jeep. He would have brought an ordinary Jeep, but he has to drive through Beverly Hills tomorrow. Yesterday, he met with some young people at the Universal Amphitheater. It was very touching. And yesterday, he met at Universal City with the leaders of the entertainment industry. And while at Universal City, the Pope conducted prayers for Ishtar. And then he met with the Lou Wasserman, who is the head of Universal Pictures. Lou Wasserman, you know Lou. And the Pope took Lou aside and said, he said, "Please, Mr. Wasserman, no more Jaws pictures." Which I thought was kind of nice of the Pope to do. Phil Donahue. You see, Bob Hope was there, Charlton Heston, and Phil Donahue was there and met the Pope. And Phil was in his usual form. He grabbed a microphone, shoved it in the Pope's face and said, "Single men in their 60s, what's it like?" Anyway, now I had a meeting with American priests, and you know there's some division among the Catholic Church. American priests are meeting with the Pope to discuss the right to marry. Now, it's none of my business, but don't do it, fathers. She'll get the parish and half the collection plate. I wonder if the Pope is going to give sanctuary to the Los Angeles Raiders if the Irwindale deal falls through. I just thought of that. How many of you have been watching the Judge Bork hearings? A lot of controversy over Judge Bork, who Reagan wants to appoint to the Supreme Court, and that's for life. And a lot of people said he's, kind of tight. I think they get that impression from the week that he guest hosted on Judge Wapner's People's Court. And Bork sentenced a litter bug to death by lethal injection. Pretty tough. And he had his hands full with Doug Llewellyn in the hall after that ruling. Did you watch it here? Have you seen Bork?
Yes.
He's got a few things going against him. First of all, he looks like the Surgeon General. I wonder what Dan Rather is doing tonight. Did you see what happened last week? Yeah, Dan Rather, who does the CBS Evening News, apparently the tennis matches ran long. And Rather went in to complain about it and was in his office, and they came back from the tennis coverage. And on national CBS News, no Rather. And the screen went black, completely black all over the country for about 6.5 minutes. Yeah. Turned out to be CBS's highest ratings of the year. They just signed the black screen for 13 weeks, incidentally. Now, on the political scene, one of the Democratic candidates is Senator Joseph Biden. Have you seen the problem he's been having? He went around and made a speech. And apparently, he quoted I think it was a British politician, took his speech and kind of paraphrased it as his own. And then the press got on him, and then he was charged also with taking part of Bobby Kennedy's speeches. And Biden says, not to worry, he reassured his staff. He said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. Okay. Did you see Forbes magazine this year with Bill Cosby on the cover? It said Bill Cosby and Whitney Houston last year earned $40 million a year. That's a lot of bread. And as soon as that was announced, President Reagan came out and said, well, I told you black people were doing well under my administration. Anyway, today... Okay, one little item you might have missed in the paper. Today is the 79th birthday of, you know who? General Motors Company was founded this day on September 16th. What would it be, 1908? Coincidentally, not many people know this, also founded on this date, September 16th, 1908, was the Chrysler Corporation, but it was rolled back to January 1st. Could have been too much of a time lapse, I don't know. Anyway, tonight we got a good show. We have Mr. Joe Garagiola with us tonight. Also, very funny young man, has been with us before. Dennis Wolfberg is here. A lovely young actress who's been in many, many things. Her name is Lisa Jane Persky. She's with us also. So stay where you are. We'll be right back.